unserem nächsten Gast. Wir haben ja getauscht, das habt ihr ja vielleicht mitbekommen. Sie wäre eigentlich vor einer Stunde dran gewesen, aber sie sagt jetzt dran. So, welcome everyone and thank you for joining us for this very special Q&A session. Our guest today is a talented actress whose performances have earned admiration from fans around the world. Today we'll have the chance to hear about her career, her experiences in the industry, behind the scenes stories, and what inspires her as a performer. She, of course, plays Lieutenant Jenna Mitchell on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Please give a warm welcome to the wonderful Rong Fu. Come join me on stage. Rong Fu, everybody. Woo. Are there any Strange New Worlds fans in the house? Yes. So, take a seat if you want to. Hello, Rong. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's Friday, so I'm fine on Friday. Ask me on Sunday.
Okay.
How was your trip to Germany?
It was good. I arrived a few hours ago. We thought we almost missed our connection in Zurich. We unluckily stood in line of the slowest customs agent, and everybody in line was very, very upset. And then finally she was relieved and someone much quicker came and we were able to catch our flight. And so I'm very glad to be here.
And we are glad that you're here.
Thank you.
So welcome to the FedCon family.
This is my first ever convention.
What? Wow.
I've never done one before, and I'm so happy to be here. Because so far I've only been here a couple hours, and it's been really, really lovely.
But I can tell you a secret, you picked the right one for your first convention.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things.
Did your colleagues tell you anything about this convention on set? Because we had most of them already here at FedCon.
Mm-hmm.
Did they tell you something about FedCon?
They did. I remember Melissa telling me about FedCon when we were on set together, and she was just like, there were so many people. She was like, my PA kept being like, quicker, quicker, quicker. There's a lot of people to go through. And she was like, oh my God, okay. And I was like, that sounds really intense. But I also have my friend Patrick Pongchu, who is in Discovery. He also came to FedCon, and when I got the invitation, I messaged him. I was like, hey, what can you tell me about the convention? And he was like, it's the best. You're gonna have an amazing time there. He was like, absolutely go. You have to go.
Cool. And was it your first time in Germany as well?
It's not my first time in Germany. I've been in Germany once before. It was right after high school. My friends and I really loved the movie Euro Trip. And we were like, wouldn't it be fun if we had our own Euro trip? And of course we were straight out of high school, so we were 18. I was still 17, so to travel internationally, I had to have my parents sign a form, basically sign guardianship over to my two best friends. So they were in charge of me until I turned 18 in Vienna, which was really nice. We had like a toga party. But we came to Germany on one of our stopovers, and it was really lovely. It was like this. I'm really sad I don't remember the name of the town. It was so long ago, but we stayed somewhere near a castle, and I had Riesling for the first time, and bought my first pair of Birkenstocks. It was lovely. Yeah, and I've always been wanting to come back. My best friend was actually. She grew up here for some time, and so she loves she loves Germany, and she introduced me to Schweinhaxen, which I love, and I'm really hoping to find a good spot nearby. So if you have recommendations, let me know.
Yeah, we're not in Bavaria, but
oh, okay.
Maybe we can get a Schweinshaxe for you.
Okay.
We have a first question.
Hi, welcome to your first of many FedCons.
Oh, thank you.
I have a two-part question. One, what was your favorite character moment so far? And what are you hoping for your character to do in the future, like a challenge she can go through?
I think my favorite moment so far has been, I don't know. I mean, it was actually in the first season. I think the Elysian Kingdom was probably the most fun for me because I got to step out of the helm and I got to play this sort of, you know, mean Crimson Guard, and it was just kind of fun to be a part of the story that was kind of outside the day-to-day on the Enterprise. And then for what the character does in the future, I don't know. Like, I hope she's, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I don't have a very good answer, because the seasons are done. The show is wrapped up. Yeah, and you know, sadly, like season 3 was actually my last season. So I guess the thing, sorry, is that a spoiler? But all I can say is I hope she's still alive. So that's it. Just at the bare minimum, she's still alive.
Fair enough, thank you.
Thank you.
She's not dead.
She's not dead. Just don't kill me off screen.
Okay,
Hi.
next question from Kirk's brother.
Sort of. Hi, nice to meet you. So your filming location was in Toronto, Canada, right? And I'm like in Toronto every year, and I wanted to ask, what's your favorite restaurant in Toronto?
One of my favorite restaurants is called Lake Inez. It's very lovely, hidden little gem. In fact, you can walk by it and not realize there's a restaurant there. And they do a seasonal menu. A lot of it is kind of inspired by I guess they would all have kind of a bit of a basis of an Asian inspiration, but they're seasonal. They have very quirky names and stories to each of the new dishes that they come with, and it's just like a really fun, cozy atmosphere. Every time you go, it's a completely different menu, so you kind of just have to order a bunch of things to try it, because you may never have it again. Yeah.
Thank you. Lake Inez. What was the name?
Lake Inez. I-N-E-Z.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do they serve Schweizerhaxe?
I wish. Hi.
Next
Hi,
question.
hi. We all know that Ortegas flies a ship, but Mitchell also flies a ship.
Thank you.
I wonder what is the difference between what Ortegas does and what you do? Because you work simultaneously, but what's the difference that you do?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, and one that we raised on the first day. Because when I was hired, Mitchell was described to be the ops officer, and Ortegas is the pilot. And when Melissa and I sat on the helm for the first time, they do amazing graphics on the screen. So it's not green screen, there's actual graphic design, and it looks like we're flying the ship. And we noticed that our consoles were not the right order. I was like, wait a minute, it looks like my console has flight controls, and her console had all of the ship, the guts of the ship and the ship operations. And so I remember we were on our first day, we were like, is this right? And we were like, I don't know. So we flagged down our first AD and we pointed it out, and I was like, I feel like our consoles are switched. And he looked down and he was just like, yeah, let me go find someone. And someone came, and then they did switch it over. But there are days when I look at my console and I go, okay, am I controlling the air conditioning? Am I firing missiles? What do these buttons do? A lot of times I just kind of make it up. I kind of reach over and press the physical buttons quite a few times just because it feels more tangible. But I guess the main difference, sorry to answer your question, is she handles the piloting of the ship. So I guess the actual movement of the ship. And sometimes some of Mitchell's controls are more towards shields, operations, and sometimes navigation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was there any specific moment on set when you realized, fuck, I'm actually on Star Trek?
Yeah, the first day when I stepped on stage of the Enterprise, it felt absolutely surreal because everything was so well detailed and it felt so tangible. I felt like I was in an amusement park, in an attraction or in a museum. It didn't feel real at all. And I think every time I step onto the bridge, it doesn't feel real. And I kind of just try to enjoy it as much as I can. I kind of just pretend I actually work for Starfleet and Starfleet exists and this is my job, and it's really fun.
Go ahead.
Or not? Yeah. Hi. Thank you for being here. So I forgot my question.
That's okay.
As there's a lot of pressure on actors to look a certain way to fulfill our ideal of beauty, and of course being worse for women, I wanted to ask you if you think in your experience, is there a racial aspect to this too, that it gets harder to be cast because you have to look a certain way? Audiences expect race to look like.
That's a good question. It's very multi-layered. Let me think about it. Yeah, I guess I would say, of course, there's always like the pressure of maintaining your look. Like especially pertaining to Star Trek, I think there's a lot of continuity, and also those costumes are very form-fitting. I remember we were all given Spanx to wear underneath our suits. It's not because they think we're fat, but mostly because they don't want, they just want everything to look very smooth and uniform. And luckily, because I sit behind a helm a lot of the times, I would leave my Spanx in the trailer because I can get away with it. I don't, unless I'm standing, because they're really like a kind of a pain in the ass to, especially when you're using the restroom and you're wired up and there's a Spanx layer underneath your, or like spacesuit layer. So luckily the helm has saved me a lot from the pressure of like, I guess, body image. And then when it comes to race, I don't know. It's interesting. I think especially I find, there's a lot of discussion around equity and diversity and those hurdles, but truthfully, that doesn't really reflect my experience. I think I find I'm very proud to be Chinese and to be Chinese Canadian, and so for me, my identity has never been a hindrance to me, and in fact, it's one of the things that I love the most about myself. And so, yeah, like while I'm absolutely believe in championing diversity and representation, I also want us to begin to change the narrative that it doesn't have to be viewed as a hurdle, that it doesn't have to be viewed as something to overcome, and that it can just be viewed as something that we embrace and, find strength in.
Thank you. It gives me a little bit of hope.
Hello. First, I want to say I have an idea what your character can do in her career in Starfleet, because in Next Generation we had Geordi LaForge, who also sat at the helm and to fly the ship, and then he was chief engineer.
Oh.
Maybe you could be a chief engineer.
I would love to be a chief engineer. Thank you, a promotion. Not just alive, but
I would love to
promoted.
see you.
Thank you.
And my question is, now that you're part of the Star Trek family, what do you know of Star Trek? What have you seen before? And what is your favorite Star Trek so far?
My first introduction into Star Trek, because I didn't grow up watching it, my first introduction was the movies in the early 2000s. And so my friend and I went to watch it, and we were like, oh my god, it was so amazing. We attempted to start a blog. It was called Watching Star Trek, and we attempted to write weekly, every episode starting from TOS, and try to just kind of write a little blog post about it all. And it was really interesting, kind of. I haven't seen a lot of, I guess, television from that era, but to watch it and to kind of learn how progressive the show was in many different ways, in terms of the science that it talks about, in terms of humanity, in terms of diversity, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I started binging it way past blogging schedule, and eventually we both just kind of, unfortunately, were not able. We weren't able to stay on schedule to continue. Some of my favorite Star Treks. I love Strange New Worlds, but I think one of my favorite ones is Lower Decks, just because it is so self-referent. Like it doesn't take itself too seriously, and the characters are really fun. The crossover episode's amazing. Yeah, and I love animation, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You're a big anime fan, right?
I am. Yeah.
What are your favorite shows?
Oh my God, there's too many. Right now, like I guess it would be like JJK, Chainsaw Man. One Piece. Actually, I didn't grow up watching One Piece. My nephew started watching One Piece like 2 years ago, and he kept wanting to like talk to me about it. And I'm like, I've never seen it. I couldn't relate to him, so I started watching One Piece. And for like 2 years of my life, I desperately was binging the show to catch up to him so that we can continue to have conversations about it. And then right now, I'm watching Doro Hey Doro, which is the one with the lizard head. I don't know if anyone watched that. It's wild. I don't really know where the story's going. And then I'm watching Witch Hat Atelier and Apocalypse Hotel. Yeah, a couple of new ones.
Did you watch the One Piece live action show on Netflix?
I haven't started the live action yet. I am just caught up on the anime,
Okay.
but it's on my list to check out. Yeah, I've seen a lot of clips and a lot of like interviews, and I just feel like they're so well cast, and they just seem like it seems like a really amazing show.
I didn't know the anime, but the live action show
Yeah.
I really like.
Oh, that's good. I would love to check it out.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, hi, my name is Marco, and this is my first convention too.
Hello.
Hello, Marco. Everyone else. Hello, Marco.
Maybe we should get a coffee and talk about the experience.
Yes, we'll debrief.
I would think that every actor, every actress would have to be very confident in order to step in front of people or in front of a camera. But then you hear about actors and actresses second guessing themselves and thinking, I'm not good at all. So would you describe yourself as a very confident actress, or do you think, oh, maybe that wasn't so good? And what do you think when you see the results?
Yeah, it's like I would say I kind of toggle back and forth between both states of like confidence and then absolute just like neurosis. You know, I was really, because I grew up kind of doing like theater and like drama, and I went to theater school, and so I was very comfortable on stage and very comfortable performing live. I am naturally actually a very shy person. I'm quite introverted, which is also kind of, you know, not very helpful being choosing a very public-facing career. But I remember my first time that we did class for on camera, I was so scared because I was so afraid that because, you know, on stage I can perform and it's out in the audience and I don't have to look at it and I can just go based off of how I felt and how the audience felt, and that is an intangible, temporary thing. But on film, it's permanent. And I was so afraid that my first time seeing myself actually acting on camera, because I've also never really enjoyed having my photos taken or anything like that, that it would show that, one, I wouldn't like what I look like, and, you know, going back to the image thing, and two, that it would be proof that I was not meant to be an actor. And I was so afraid of that. In that class, we were taking turns doing scenes, and I planted myself firmly behind the camera because I was like, okay, if I get to know this machine, maybe it won't be so scary, and maybe it will be friendly to me. And I remember when it was my turn to do the scene, even before I started, I just started crying because I was so scared. Not because everybody else was watching me, because I felt like the whole classroom was, that I was watching myself back, and I'm very hypercritical of myself. Anyways, pushed past the tears, did the scene, and then when we watched it afterwards, I was, again, terrified that it would be irrevocable proof that I am a bad actor. I should quit this right now. You know, it's not too late to change majors. But when I watched the scene back, I was actually pleasantly surprised. You know, I was able to identify, and that was something I had to like work through in the earlier part of my career, was to be okay with, okay, I may not like the way I look on camera, but I think the work is good, or I think the scene played. So that's something that like I've, you know, kind of had to like get over in the last few years, and I think I'm much better with it now. Now I'm just kind of like, I look the way I look on screen. That's it. Let me just try to focus on the acting, and if I believe what I'm doing on screen.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, great question. Welcome to FedCon. You're now also part of the FedCon family, and you have to come back every year now.
Yes.
Sorry. When people open your website, officialrongfu.com, it says Rongfu actor,
Yes.
writer, dry humor enthusiast. Can you give us an example of your dry humor? Are there any shows or movies that you like because of the dry humor?
You know, I actually, for like a completely different reason, I actually like stayed up like a couple nights ago thinking about this, because that was just something I wrote when I was still in school, and I was just like, yeah, I like dry humor, I like, you know, like The Office, I like, you know, deadpan, I like kind of cynical humor. And then I actually asked myself this question a few nights ago, and I stayed up late night thinking about it, and I'm like, what does that mean? Am I a dry humor enthusiast? Can I definitively go like, hey, I'm the authority on what dry humor is? And no, the answer I arrived at was like, absolutely not, I'm a fraud. And maybe I should take that part out.
I think there is an example of dry humor on your
Thank
page.
you.
In the section about me section, it says, on a given day when Rong is not working, you can find her on the couch slurping ramen and watching anime. And just like iPhones, Rong was made in China.
Yes.
And then the fine print says, by 2 consenting adults, not by children.
Yes. Thank you.
I thought that was very funny.
Thank you, thank you.
We have only 5 minutes left, so if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Oh,
There it is. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Phil. This is not my first convention, but it's my first time I walk up to the mic. So the pictures that thanks. So the pictures that I saw online, you always had like more of a serious face. So I was expecting something else, and you're laughing a lot more. What types of roles do you like more? Being serious on screen, or is it more like laughing, smiling?
Oh, I comedy hands down. I definitely prefer it. It's more fun to do, but it's like you're still playing with all of the same stakes as a drama, but you have to do it faster and you have to hit a punchline. And the benefit is you also make people laugh, and it's fun to be on set and make each other laugh. So I think as an actor, I definitely prefer doing comedies more. Although I love drama, and I'm very, very happy that I have the tools to do both. Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So, do you like Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Do I like taking chances?
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, Neon Evangelion.
Yeah.
I have never watched
Okay.
Neon Evangelion. I feel like I should, because that is one of the biggest anime staples. The thing is like my reintroduction back into anime was actually in adulthood, because when I was a child, my family, we didn't have like premium cable and didn't have like a lot of access for me to watch all of the anime that I wanted to watch, and it wasn't until I became like, I think I moved out of my house when I was like 25 and I had my own place and I was like, you know what, I can afford a Crunchyroll subscription now. And that's when I started watching anime, and I kind of really just dug into like a lot of the new ones first. It was actually Yuri on Ice that I started watching. I love it, yes. I started watching it at my friend's house, and I was like, I have to see the rest of it, and so that's what led me to buy a Crunchyroll subscription. I've been subscribed for like 10 years now. Yeah, so, but Neon Evangelion is on my list pronto.
Okay. My question is void now, so.
Thank you.
Okay, the last question for today would be, are there any upcoming projects where we can see you, or you're a writer as well? Maybe we can see something you wrote.
Oh, thank you. There's actually a new show that just came out not too long ago. It's called The Miniature Wife. I shot that last year in Toronto as well, actually with a lot of the same crew from Strange New Worlds. I remember when we went to the first table read, and George, our first AD on like 3 seasons of Star Trek, was there, and I was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, what are you doing here? And we're both like I guess we're both taking a little break from space. So it's a really fun show. It stars Elizabeth Banks and Matthew Macfadyen. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but with War of the Roses. It's about a scientist who shrinks his wife. And I play a character named Janet Colgate, who works in the lab, and she kind of gets roped into the hijinks of the show.
So, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we only have 30 minutes, but you will be at our big group panel on Sunday.
Okay.
All of you Strange New World guys on stage.
Great.
That will be cool, and you will have autograph sessions and
Yes.
photo sessions and everything. So enjoy the weekend,
Yeah.
and yeah, let's hear it once
Thank
again
you.
for Rong.